So over the last couple weeks here, Cold Iron Studios has been giving us a lot of new information about Aliens Fireteam Elite, including releasing a new Aliens Fireteam, preview build to some creators and big gaming industry websites, etc. And from that footage, we've learned a bunch of information. Along with that, they also gave us details about the class system and the different abilities, perks, etc. Hey guys, this is Chris with B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing awesome today. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, all your support. So let's start with the campaign. We know there are 4 different campaigns, and each campaign has 3 missions. In the preview build, they have access to 2 of the campaigns. So we know the first campaign, Priority 1, is aboard a refinery called the Katanga. And the backstory with it is that Weyland-Yutani, or Google, are basically using it as a self-contained breeding ground for the aliens. And they're kind of crossbreeding them and experimenting with different combinations. That's why there's so many different aliens in Aliens Fireteam. Now with the second campaign, called Giants in the Earth, we know that it's taking place on the planet below the refinery, called LB-895. And the other 2 campaigns, Gift of Fire and The Only Way to Be Sure, we don't really know much about. I guess we can see from the image here that The Only Way to Be Sure looks like we're going into an alien hive, which sounds nasty. As far as difficulty goes, we've learned that Friendly Fire is off on normal difficulty. Aliens Fireteam is going to feature 5 different difficulties, and I believe the default difficulty is normal, so no Friendly Fire. Well anyways, higher difficulties are going to increase the amount of damage that Friendly Fire does. As far as the challenge card system goes, we learned that the challenge cards are consumables, so they're a one-time use per mission, and I'm not sure if they're per mission or per campaign, but I guess we can assume per mission. Well anyways, just like other consumables, you're going to be able to acquire multiples of them and keep them in your storage. As far as examples of the challenge card system, here we have Flawless Victory, take less than 2,500 total damage, and you're going to be rewarded 2 times credits and 2 times XP. Another example, Full Shares, you get 3 times the credits on mission completion. Now with the challenge card system, we're going to be able to equip up to 3 challenge cards in the lobby. So I'm assuming that, one player on the team will equip one, another player can equip one, or maybe one player can be, the rich guy and just equip 3 of them. I guess we'll have to find out. Speaking of consumables, the different equipment, specialty ammo types, etc., we're also going to be able to do the same thing with them as far as collecting them and keeping them in our storage and selecting whether or not we want to take them with us on the mission. As far as the perk system goes, we learn more about the universal perk system. So in Aliens Fireteam Elite, we have both class-specific perks. So for example, with the gunner, you have the ability to throw grenades, and you also have the overclock ability. Well, those are fixed on your gunner. However, there are universal perks that you can unlock on different classes and then take them over to other classes. So for example, here we have the Demolisher rifle training, which gives you 20% max ammo plus 15% fire rate. Now, once unlocked, you could take this over to your gunner and stack it with gunner's rifle training, which gives you 15% rifle range and reload speed. As far as gameplay stats, and I was curious about this, especially if you're playing more of a support role like a doc or a technician or something along that line, how are you going to earn XP? Well, it looks like you basically get match XP and everybody gets the same amount. You do have individual stats, and I'm not sure if it works the same way with your weapons, whether, your weapons are going to level up from getting individual kills, or do you accrue XP from, actually using the weapon? Speaking of the weapon progression, and this is one big question I had, we can see that, certain weapons have 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and this is an unlock system that's in Aliens Fireteam Elite. And I was curious myself, what exactly do they mean? Well, now we know. Here's an example of the M42A Scout Rifle. So if you have 1 star unlocked, it's 5% bonus stability. 2 stars unlocked, you have another 5% stability, so 10%. and stability is just less recoil per shot. Well, anyways, 3 stars will give you 5% effective range, and the 4th and final star will give you 3.34% weak point damage on hit for 3 seconds. And it says this effect stacks up to 5 times. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's, 17% bonus damage. That's really not a lot. However, Cold Iron Studios' pedigree is RPG games, so they're putting a lot of these increased stats on the different gear. Here's an example of a medium muzzle, the vent brake. It says if you equip the vent brake on this weapon, you get 20% weak point damage. Now in this screenshot it compares it to the precision brake, which I'm assuming is a more rare muzzle brake. Well anyways, the precision brake has 20% weak point damage and 30% effective range. So you can see as we unlock these different weapons and attachments, you can really spec into one style of play here. So for the scout rifle, if you're running recon, you're really focused on the weak point damage, it could be really powerful. Now, if you're planning on playing Aliens Fireteam Elite solo, you're probably wondering about the AI teammates. They do have kind of, I guess I'd call it an Easter egg a little bit, where your AI teammates are going to be synthetics. And if I understand it right, you can actually customize the look of your synthetics. So you can make them, I don't know, red or something. I don't know. But I think it's a cool little touch to the game. And if one of your teammates gets disconnected or rage quits, they're going to be replaced by a synthetic. Now, as far as a store or gamer hub, it's actually going to be the Endeavor. And on the Endeavor, there's going to be, of course, different vendors. At one vendor, you're going to be able to buy weapons, weapon attachments, perks for your kit, universal perks, and also consumables. Now, the final piece of news that we learned in the preview build is that Aliens Fireteam Elite does have a horde mode. Here it says, hold off escalating waves of xenomorphs while earning rewards. How long can your fire team survive? It also says that Horde is unlocked after finishing Aliens Fireteam's campaign. So along with the new information from the gameplay preview, we also got a bunch of information about the different classes. So in the Aliens Fireteam, each class has 2 abilities. Now these abilities you can activate anytime you want to, and then they go on recharge. In addition, each class has a passive perk. So for example, with the Gunner, for abilities, it has the grenade ability and also the overclock ability. For the passive ability or the passive perk, it has stay on target. It says dealing damage grants you a bonus damage stack, stacks 10 times. Stacks fall off every few seconds you don't do damage. So as you level up your class, for example Gunner again, in Aliens Fireteam, you're going to unlock more powerful modifiers that you can use to make your class more powerful. So for example, with the Gunner again, you can unlock different modifiers that are going to improve your grenade, such as giving you a flashbang type grenade or even a remote detonation grenade. So in addition to these 2 abilities that are locked to your class, Aliens Fireteam also features universal perks that you can unlock and you'll be able to equip on other classes. For example, you can unlock rapid deployment here and it gives you 20% ability cooldown for your Gunner. But since this is a universal perk, you can also take it over once you've unlocked it over to your Demolisher and add it to his micro rockets. Another aspect of the classes are there are 4 different weapon categories that determine what weapons you can carry on your class. So there's rifle, close quarters weapons, pistols, and of course heavy weapons. And each class has 2 of these categories that they can carry. So for example with the Gunner can carry a rifle and a close quarters weapon. As far as the classes go, first let's talk about the Gunner. Here it says with the Gunner, the core skill set of every Marine. The Gunner carries a rifle for ranged engagement and a close quarters weapon for when the action gets intense. Frag grenades can disrupt masked foes, and the overclock ability allows gunners increase their fire team's weapons rate of fire. So for the Gunner's overclock ability, it says greatly increase fire rate for you and nearby allies. Also increase your reload speed. And from what I've read, it's actually 50% fire rate, which is a huge boost. As far as your grenade ability goes, it says throw a grenade. which explodes on impact, dealing damage in a large radius. And finally, for your passive perk, it says Stay on Target. Dealing damage grants you a bonus damage stack. Can stack up to 10 times. Stacks fall off every few seconds that you don't deal damage. For the Technician, it says, Marine combat technicians control the flow of battle, channeling enemy foes into kill zones. They sow charged coils to slow down the advance of foes and deploy sentry guns for direct fire support. This high-mass equipment limits their personal weapons to a handgun and close quarters weapon. As far as abilities go for the Technician, your first ability is Sentry Turret. Deploys a turret directly in front of you, automatically fires at enemies, and can be picked up and redeployed. Your second ability is Charge Coils. Toss a device that lodges itself into your target and unleashes directed electrical shocks in the area, damaging enemies and reducing their movement speed. And for your passive ability, Cross-Platform Synergy. Allies standing near your turret take 10% less damage. When you stand near your turret, it regenerates 1% HP every second. The next class, Demolisher, this guy looks like my first class I want to try because, man, that looks awesome. It says, in addition to a standard rifle, Demolishers operate heavy weapons such as smart guns, grenade launchers, and flame units. They are equipped with impact rockets to break up massed attacks at range and a concussive blast wave to knock back foes at close range. With Demolisher's micro-rocket ability, it says, launches 3 rockets that detonate on impact, creating a large shock wave that damages and stumbles your foes. Your second ability, Blast Wave, it says, unleashes a concussive blast around you, damaging enemies and knocking them back. Finally, for your passive perk, it says, Clear the Room. Your abilities grant stacks equal to the number of targets hit. Stacks increase your gun damage, stacks last 15 seconds and reset when another ability is fired. So it sounds like you want to use your micro rockets and just kind of shoot for a little bit and then use them again to get the maximum amount of DPS. For the doc or combat medic, it says Fireteam docs not only keep their comrades on their feet and in the fight with healing trauma stations, they also enhance their performance with a cocktail of combat stims. Every Marine is a combatant first, and docs are no exception. They carry a rifle and a handgun. So with the doc, your first ability is Trauma Station, deploys a trauma station in front of you that heals nearby allies, has a limited supply of healing, can be picked up and redeployed. Your second ability is Combat Stims, increases accuracy and stability by 50%, stamina regen by 30%, and movement speed by 15% for you and nearby allies. Finally, for your passive ability, Triage, it says you and your nearby allies have their incoming healing increased by 10%. For each nearby ally, your power recharge is increased by 10%. Finally, for the 5th class, Recon, it says, Marines specialized in Recon can deploy parameter uplink spectrographs to reveal enemy positions and call in support drones that replenish ammo and enhance weapon accuracy for their fire team. They carry a rifle for sniping and a close quarters weapon for close range work. And on Twitter, they also added that this class is unlocked after you have finished the game's campaign. And it goes on and says, make the most out of their skill set at the higher difficulties in your next playthroughs. For the Recon's abilities, the first one, it says PUPS, short for Parameter Uplink Spectrograph. This small drone reveals nearby enemies to your entire team and lowers their damage by 20% for a short duration. Your second ability is Support Drone. It says deploys a drone that lands at the targeted location. While active, the drone replenishes nearby allies' ammo, increases accuracy and stability by 20%, and grants a small amount of HP per kill. And finally, for your passive ability, it's called Focus. Headshotting a revealed target grants a stack of focus. Each stack increases accuracy and stability by 10%, stacks 3 times. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the possibility of Horde mode? What do you think about leveling up your weapons and all the RPG elements here? Which class are you excited about trying out first? Are you a Demolisher? Are you a Gunner? Are you a Doc? Let me know what you think. For me, I'm probably most excited about Horde mode that it's in the game. They did say here, hold off escalating waves of xenomorphs while earning rewards. I'm curious what those rewards are going to be. Are they going to be the same, pool of stuff that you get from the campaign? Is it going to be a separate pool? Is it just going to be, beat wave 50 and you get a certain emote that, is locked in there? Or is it, randomized where you're going to be able to pick up consumables, pick up challenge cards, maybe get different outfits, etc. I'm excited to try it out.